Welcome to Nourished by Spinneys, the podcast which promises to inspire you to eat well and live well. I'm Tiffany Eslick.
And I'm Devina Devecha. Welcome to a space where we hope to nourish your heart and soul. On this show, we chat with leading players in the food community, from farmers to foodies, as well as health and well-being experts. It's all about engaging conversations and fresh ideas.
Today, we're chatting with Yazen Al Kodmani of Emirates Bio Farm, a pioneering organic producer in the UAE. He's also one of our valued Farmers Club members, growing a bounty of fresh veg for Spinneys, such as cucumbers, radish, sweet corn, aubergines, marrows, and more. Actually, for anyone who's been to Spinneys Msakim, you might have seen a huge in-store billboard with him standing in his cornfields.
I have not seen this picture at all, and I want to know why it's not at my branch at Trade Center.
That is a very good question, and I will get right onto that. We had such fun with that photo shoot. We were on his farm at sunrise, making him bob up and down in the cornfields for a boomerang, and he's never quite let me forget that. I think we need to get that onto Instagram ASAP.
Amazing. I cannot wait to see that.
His passion for what he does is infectious. Whenever I've met with him or visit his farm, which really is this lush oasis in the middle of the desert, I come away wanting to immediately start growing things.
And have you managed to grow any vegetables?
Well, not yet, but I'm working on it. If local produce is what you're after, Yazen tells me all about what grows in the UAE across the year, and you'll find out when you should shop exclusively local. But more on that in a bit. What he's doing is really inspiring. He's focusing on growing for flavor and keeping things sustainable, not just in terms of organic, but also retaining the quality of the soil. Okay, so let's start out with how Emirates Bio Farm was started by Yazen's father soon after the UAE was formed.
In the early years of the formation of the UAE, there was an agenda of establishing agriculture by the founding father, the late Sheikh Zayed Al Nahyan. My father came from Syria as an agriculture engineer and has worked in the UAE in agriculture for the past, almost 5 decades now, establishing organic fertilizers, greenhouse buildings, irrigation systems, and so on. And me and my brother also works in agriculture. I work in agriculture. I joined Emirates Bio Farm, which was launched in 2017. And I kind of gained the name for myself because we established agri-tourism, education programs, and kind of tried to put ourselves out there to teach people about organic farming.
And do you think it's your background and having a father who was involved in agriculture that makes you care? Because you really do care.
Well, yes. Yeah, we think a bit, I think, more long-term, and that's what you need in agriculture. Everything, it's a very long-term business in terms of returns and it's long-term effects on the environment and your health. So for somebody to care, I think the major effect was the sustainability and from the founding father of this country. Environmental protection was a huge thing. And also my father carried that same message. So that's kind of what makes me passionate, not just about the food production, but about the sustainability aspect of it.
And is he still involved in the farm, your dad?
Yes, he is the managing partner of the farm. He is the overall visionary. And of course, yeah, he's out there once or twice a month.
Great.
Yeah.
Can you describe the farm to us, like where it is? I don't know, your favorite part on the farm?
Yeah. So funny enough, it's kind of inland, 100 kilometers about from the coast here, an area called Al Shuaib, which is between Al Ain and Dubai. It's in Abu Dhabi as an emirate, and we're like 10 minutes from Sharjah, 10 minutes from the border to Oman. So it's that region inland, but as close as possible to the coast. So we selected that because of a few reasons. There's fresh water in the aquifers there. The soil would be called sweet sand, so it's the red desert dunes that you can imagine in when you think of the desert. And then it's dry weather, so you don't have the humidity, which helps actually in agriculture for us. So yeah, that's where the farm is located. We do open field agriculture. We do greenhouses and shade houses. So it depends on the type of crop. It depends on the season. We're trying to maximize, production at the lowest kind of use of water and energy. And yeah, when you come out there, it's kind of it's kind of this big contrast between greenery and fields and these desert dunes right behind it.
You mentioned the seasons. How does it work here? Like when do you start planting?
Yeah,
When can you harvest? What should we and shouldn't expect like in the different seasons? So
yeah,
how do we know if it's really local?
yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
So here in the UAE, we have the farming season usually is now from November up to April. That's usually the standard, mild weather, sunlight, steady environment and climate. And that's when most of the production you see. So all kinds of vegetables up to, everything, maybe 50 plus items. So you're talking about all the main stuff: cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, and then the open field stuff like onions, potatoes, carrots, beetroots, okra, and then some leafies, so lettuces and herbs, parsley, coriander, and all that. So usually when you talk about organic, it's soil-based agriculture. So then you have to follow these seasons. With the high-tech guys, the guys doing, the closed environment stuff with the LED lights, with the climate control, that is one of their selling points, that we can do it around the 12 months. So that is, the main selling point, but they are limited with the number of items they can grow. So then you're getting lettuces from them, you're getting herbs, so you can continue to see lettuces all throughout the year in the UAE now, thanks to the hydroponic systems. And you can see some tomatoes from some large farms as well, cherry tomatoes and stuff. But the open field stuff like carrots, onions, there's seasonality really in these crops, and organic is mostly gonna it's soil based, so it's mostly gonna follow this seasonality. So on our website on Emirates Bio Farm, we have EBF Academy, and it has a full calendar. But just to give you kind of what we do at the farm, we start planting in August when it's really, really, really warm. But
Fun.
yeah, most things would take up to 3 months. So we start planting the hardy summer type stuff like eggplants. Surprisingly, melons are a summer crop, so watermelons, sweet melons, and so on, and okra. These are all summer. We start harvesting. You're talking about October, November, so that's when the season picks up. Cucumbers are throughout the year in greenhouses. That's not an issue. Tomatoes stop from June, July to October, November. So, yeah, tomatoes in August and September is kind of very difficult, organic. Yeah, and then December is Jan is when you get everything. Everything's available locally. You should be shopping local. I think in that time period, vegetables, you can get the freshest produce. Yeah.
That's probably the time you're not sleeping because you're harvesting around the clock, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, that's easier time for us because, harvest. You're stressed at the beginning. So we're buying the seeds, preparing the land, preparing our plan in July in the middle of the heat. So June, July, we kind of are quiet, but we're preparing as a business. August is really busy. We are planting, and August, September, October, we're continuously planting, and we're worried about the success of the crops and the success of the seeds and everything. But if we've done our job right, then we can have a really nice December and Jan. The weather is nice. We're harvesting. People are happy. It's a good time then. Yeah.
Right. So I know you've got like the highest sort of organic
Yeah.
certifications. Yeah. What's that journey been like?
So organic, most people know the pesticide-free aspect, that you cannot have synthetic pesticides, and then you cannot have synthetic chemical fertilizers, herbicides. All of these are banned. But the part that they might not know about is, of course, there's so many requirements when it comes to like the environment protection, animal health care if you're doing like eggs, um, welfare. So then you have to have free range, cage free, all of these things, antibiotics. And the biggest cost, like let's say in animal production, we do organic eggs, is the feed. The feed has to be organic. So then it has to come to a farm like mine that doesn't use these things. So people understand that general concept, but what's the purpose of the tour? Is to show you the how. Okay, why does somebody else use chemicals and you are able without? And that's kind of then we go into the topics of I cannot be a single crop farmer. If I do one crop in my entire farm, there's no way I can control the insects they have. So that then we go into okay, I have to have a large multitude of crops, and I can't grow them in each crop in one field. I divide them so that if I have a problem in one area, hopefully it's localized. And it's all about keeping the pest populations down, not giving them one area where they're very happy. So after I harvest my corn, let's say, I'll plant a completely different crop so that whatever insects or pests that are happy there, they're not going to get the same environment again. And then having trees all around the farm, using natural protection methods. So neem oils, sometimes chili is used, soaps are used on the crops themselves, and mechanical protection. So having covering, netting, so keeping the birds around. One thing about farmers, they're conventional farmers, they might remove all the trees and work hard to keep birds away. We have a large multitude of trees, and you come out and you see so much birds and biodiversity going on. Well, they are very helpful. I know they damage some crops, but they are also eating insects, caterpillars, worms, and so on. So having them is beneficial, but it's all about like keeping. I don't want the birds to go out of control. So it's all about keeping a balance where you are growing within nature, trying to keep that ecosystem going, where everything's there, beneficial pests, bad pests, birds, but everything's in a balance where you're able to produce food.
It must have been like trial and error, right? Getting to this balance.
Yes, it takes time. Soil building takes time. So you start with sand, especially here. This is one of our big challenges, soil and water use. The more you build soil, hopefully then it retains better moisture. Yeah, so you see that year over year, you're trying to keep adding the trees, different types of trees. So most of the trees on the farm we have moringa, a lot of moringa. We have a lot of neem, and those are like my two favorites. But then also we have to throw in there some cedar, which is a native tree to this region, and then you can do the stuff that you want to be productive in. So pomegranates and lemons and all the figs. We have fig trees as
Oh,
well. Yeah,
amazing. I
yeah.
need to come and get some fig leaves.
Yes.
I like to infuse a sorbet with fig leaves.
Yeah.
When we come back, I talk to Yazen about why he spends so much time working on education programs and agriculture tourism at the farm. That's right after this short break. Welcome back. This is Nourished by Spinneys. I'm Tiffany Eslick, and you're listening to my conversation with Yazen Al Kodmani of Emirates Bio Farm. I know you work with heirloom seeds. So where are you getting those from, and why are you passionate about that?
So some people have taken it to kind of collect so much heirloom seeds. One famous company in the U.S. is called Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. So what's interesting is sometimes you get the heirloom from the Middle East that went to Baker Creek and then they reproduce and we can get them back here. Heirloom just means it's not a scientific term. It just means it's been handed down. It's one of those seeds that has been used in farming, handed down. It's not from the seed companies. And usually, unfortunately, in our region, due to conflicts and wars, we had seed banks that existed for hundreds, and in the cases of Iraq and Syria, probably thousands of years. And some of those were under attack in Lebanon as well. So Iraq, Lebanon, Syria. So some scientists even had to smuggle them out in suitcases. Ultimately, anyways, there are so many people that are working to preserve this culture. So we try and always get as many heirloom seeds as we can. They come in as gifts. They come in from companies like Baker Creek, and then I'm always trying them out. But it's such a long trial. So let's say I try 100 seeds, maybe 10 work, and then out of the 10, are they productive per square meter? Are they heat resistant? Does the market want them? And then if a tomato plant grows half as much as a seed that I'm buying from a seed distributor, then that means I need to sell it at double the price. Is anyone willing to sell it at double the price? Unfortunately, we see sometimes that you see it with bananas. So it's one type of banana, Cavendish, right? You see it, and now we're moving towards that with cucumbers and tomatoes and stuff. But that means we lose the other varieties. So we try and keep that alive and going as much as possible. Yeah. And then collecting for heat tolerance and productivity and all these things. So out of these few years, maybe I have 2 or 3 that are my favorite.
Well, I mean, well done for sticking at it.
I mean, the tourism aspect and our partners help us be able to do that, because
Yeah.
then I can use it in my restaurant. I can use it for people to shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can do that trial. But I guess a farmer that's selling commercial, it's very difficult for him to use that space.
Absolutely. Have you looked into edible plants, like native plants from this region? Is that something that you would want to explore?
Yeah, it's a very cool topic. I would advise anyone to visit Jamil Arts Center. They did a whole exhibition called "Desert is a Forest." And as the name suggests, it's trying to say, okay, there's an abundance of these plants. Of course, it looks bare, but there's an abundance of these plants that have medicinal, that could be edible. So then they listed all the edible ones and what they look like and the names. And in the farm today, I have a few of those, and I have them in the visitor center now, so people can take a look and see. And of course, it's going to start being used in the restaurant.
So, talking about the visitor center,
Yeah.
you run school tours,
Yeah.
farm tours,
Yeah.
obviously in the season. Can you talk a bit more about that? I know you have a restaurant. You even had an organic festival, the UAE's first organic festival. Yeah, what are you doing, and why do you think education is so important?
I kind of stumbled upon that. So we set up our e-commerce. We put pictures of the farm, and people would comment, "What country is this? Where is this? Can I come out?" So then I established, the first open farm day, and it was on my day off. It was Friday, free. Just I thought, 20, 30 people would be interested in this, and we had like 100+ people come to the farm, and it was a mess, obviously. I didn't have food for them. I didn't have, anything. So then I set up something a bit nicer and did another open farm day, and then it became weekly, and then it became two times a week, and then before COVID, we opened fully, so you can just show up at the farm any day of the week except Mondays. So one day off for us, and you can walk in. You buy a ticket to take a tour. There's tours hourly where you get on a tractor, you go onto the fields, you get down, you get a 10-minute education on what we do. And the benefits of this, what I found is so many people have that, as I said, they just think, okay, organic means this, or organic is expensive. But if they come out, they kind of understand, okay, what's going on and what it means. And also, there's another thing, like touching soil and being out in this kind of not manicured, not landscape, you find people 5 years haven't like put their hand in any kind of soil or interacted with nature in such a way that they discover that they're missing this, and they really enjoy their visit. And then the restaurant is vegetarian; it just serves what we grow. So it has eggs because we have eggs, and then vegetables. And people get to experience some food. Uh, Also, when we do the events, it's a full brunch that's vegetarian. For a lot of people, that shouldn't be a thing,
Yeah.
but they're always very happy. Yeah. So we developed a name for ourselves, and we did Organic Fest, which was the last one was 2020 pre-COVID Feb. And we 3 days live music, talks, Spinneys participated, and so many organic brands participated. And it's just about supporting the industry, educating people, and having fun with the kids.
Do you think there'll be another one coming up
Yes.
next year? Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
February this year, Organic Fest will be back.
Okay.
I'm very excited about it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We've often spoken about Babylon Stern in South Africa, which is like a working farm, and you were just at Dan Barber's place in the States,
Yes.
Blue Hill Stone Barns. So what do you look to, what are you looking at from those people, and how they're inspiring you? Is it something that you want to take from there and bring to your setup?
Yeah, I feel organic maybe is quite young. So a scientist from the US, I forget the name now, visited India, the US or England, and the mission was to educate them on agriculture. But he came back learning more from India than he took. He found that there's a lot to learn there, and it kind of opened his eyes that maybe I need to change the way I'm doing things. And he came back and he established the first tenets of organic agriculture, which are born out of India. Neem is native to India. and it's big in organic agriculture. So he came back, and from there, it kind of slowly formed as small farms that believe in, okay, I want to farm with the least amount of environmental damage as possible, and I want to protect my land and so on. And that kind of grew till the first USDA organic certification was born in like 2002, I think.
Mhm.
So this is young. The certifications are young.
Yeah.
You're talking about 90s, 2000s, that's it, as a controlled, certified, standardized system. So I feel there's still a lot to learn. I'm in the desert. I'm doing it a bit different than, let's say, India or the US. So I want to learn what they are doing and I want to contribute myself. And that's why we continue to trial. I don't have moisture, I have sand. There's nothing to regenerate if I don't. So I'm generating soil, is what I call it. And how do I do that? So they want to, for example, they don't want to till, they don't want to disrupt the soil, but I have nothing I have to add back. So I till in organic matter in the form of compost, in the form of green mulching. They do cover crops to protect in their off season. For me, it's a calculation between water use in the summer. So do I cover my soil, but it's summertime and it's not productive? So it's like establishing how can organic be done and regenerative be done in the desert in what I'm doing, and having these dialogues with all these people is very beneficial. So we can discuss, yeah.
And you are using about 1/4 of your land, right?
Yes.
So what have you got planned? What's your dream?
So when we launched 2017, every year on year we kind of doubled in size, and we kept going, and like I said, kept introducing new things, and but COVID kind of put a damp into that, and now we just want to get back into our plans that we've had. We love the aspect of the community and the tourism. It helps us educate people, but also get our brand out there, get the support we need. And also, one of the key things is reduce our waste, actually. So any odd-shaped vegetables go into juices, go into the restaurant, go into pickling, and people are very appreciative of this. So we want to expand on that. Maybe hospital, like, you know, and a lodge, an eco lodge where people can come out and stay. We want to expand our farmland, but uh, trial quinoa, millets, some very nutritious grains.
Mhm.
That's one of the challenges of the UAE. So yeah, just expand on what we're doing. We're doing a lot of research fields now. I have a team member that's dedicated now for R&D, which I'm very happy about. So we're trying all these different things, and hopefully we have a successful season now that we're out of COVID, and we see how things go.
What nourishes your soul?
What nourishes my soul? This is, yeah, usually, to be honest, just being when people are happy with what we do.
Mhm.
So to be honest, even whenever anybody's joining our team, I tell them, one of the benefits of this job is you're working in something that makes people genuinely happy. They're happy with the food when they're shopping, when they're buying the product. They're happy when they come out. They're happy when they see their kids interacting with vegetables. So it brings a lot of satisfaction, and it makes it, it's very satisfying in terms of a job. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, great. Well, thanks, Yazen.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was a really wholesome chat. I just want to get out to the farm and get my hands
Yeah.
in the dirt, so you'll see me soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So, it was really nice to hear the way he talked about putting, your hands in the soil and really connecting with nature. But I'm personally not sold because it's not something I think I could do, like put my hands in soil or sand. I mean, I've always wanted to live in a hermetically sealed apartment. So the thought of doing that.
Interesting. I want to hear more about this hermetically sealed apartment sometime.
I'm also quite Monica-esque, with the whole cleaning situation. I've become my mother. I'm just oh no, now cleaning like
so
a
you
crazy
would never
person.
walk barefoot on the grass?
I can if I have to.
Oh my God. Would you ever squelch in mud?
That beach, yes. Beach is okay. Beach is fine. Yeah. Beach I'm okay. Yeah, that's fine.
How odd. And also, but your thing. Honestly, when I hear that, it just makes me want to jump in the car and drive out to the farm. The new season is here. I want to get planting. But Interesting. Now I can't forget about this hermetically sealed apartment. This episode was brought to you by Spinneys and is hosted by me, Tiffany Eslick, and Davina Devicha. We're produced by Chirag Desai, with artwork done by Michelle Clements and Jihan Youssef. You can follow Spinneys on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more. And visit us at spinneys.com, where you can shop for fresh produce and a variety of local and exclusive products.
Yes, and we have one more episode lined up before the festive season begins, which will be out next week, actually. So see you then.
All right, I need water now.
How is water going to help you say his name
I don't
right?
know. All right, stop laughing to me.